Hello again, and welcome to yet another life-affirming episode of the Atheist Experience. I am your host, Russell Glasser, and with me today is Jen Peeples.
How you doing?
Pretty good. Jen, I understand will be talking to us a little later about creaming your data, which sounds a lot dirtier than it actually is.
Yeah.
I don't think I have much in the way of special announcements, although I believe the ACA is participating in the Gay Pride Festival next week. Isn't that correct?
That's correct.
And what time is that? Do you know?
I do not know.
Okay, well, I could look it up, but that would be time wasting, and you can just check out atheist-community.org.
Yes.
So check that out, because we might still need people to help out and man the booths, or you know, it's a whole lot of fun every year, even if you're not gay.
Yeah.
You know, I would be going even if I wasn't planning to help man the booths, which I am.
I thought you were about to say I'd be going even if I wasn't gay. I was like, oh, Russell.
Yes, I'm actually coming out. No.
Yeah.
Hi, Lynette. All right, so what's up with creaming your data?
Creaming your data. Well, you know how Chuck Colson claims all this great success with his prison ministry for rehabilitating
I'm
offenders?
actually very familiar with that, and
Yes,
if you hunt down the Chuck Colson tag at the Atheist Experience blog, you'll see lots of stuff I've written about that.
Well, you know, we sometimes get an email now and then from someone saying, hey, can it be true that, you know, believing in God or doing this program actually works better than all these other rehabilitation programs? Mm-hmm. Could it possibly be the case? The answer is no. There's actually a reason that they get the data they get. And one of those reasons is that they manipulate the numbers. In the case of Chuck Colson, he sets up all of these requirements that participants in this prison ministry have to meet in order to be considered satisfactory participants.
Chuck Colson's program basically force feeds Christianity, well, not force feeds, but inducts people into this program to feed them a load of Christian BS, and then claims that that if they've gone through this program, then they're less likely to go back to prison.
Right.
Of course, what he doesn't tell you is that if you wind up like not getting a job once you're out of prison, then you're not considered to have gone through the program at all. Exactly. Which kind of skews the data.
Right.
So.
Right. Having a job after you get out of prison is probably the single best predictor that someone will not reoffend.
And that's true whether or not they did Colson's stupid, useless program.
So by inducting all these people into this program and then not counting the group of people who don't get a job, they're basically creaming their data. They're taking a subset of the original sample and saying, look how effective our program is. But in fact...
Can you explain the use of the word creaming?
Yeah, creaming means that, you know, the idea is that, you know, when you get some milk or something, the cream rises to the top. Mm-hmm. And if you wanted to, for example, make butter, you would skim the cream off. Well, in this case, you're basically skimming the top, the people that are going to succeed anyway, off the top of this, and using that as if this were your entire sample. It's a dishonest tactic. But that's how these prison ministries can claim all the success, is that they discount all of the people who didn't succeed in their program.
Right. What's especially galling is that they take the best representatives of the sample that they want to look good, and then they don't I mean, it would be fine as long as they took the best representatives of the other side. Like if they compared all the people who went through their program and got a job to all the people who didn't go through their program and got a job, that would be fair. It wouldn't necessarily show the whole picture, but it would at least be something relevant.
Right. And in fact, if you do that, if you compare this sort of apples to apples samples, what you find is that their prison ministry programs aren't that effective at preventing people from reoffending. And there are other examples where this happens as well. One of the primary examples is abstinence-only education. The proponents of abstinence-only education will tell you abstinence is 100% effective at preventing pregnancy and sexually transmitted infections and all this stuff. Well, here's the reality. if I'm going to assess the effectiveness of, for example, a birth control method, let's say condom use, when organizations out there, legitimate organizations, compare the effectiveness of condom use with other forms, or including abstinence, what they do is they take into account the failure of the condom itself, plus the failure of the individual to use it correctly. So if they use it inconsistently, if they use it incorrectly, it slips off. So all of these failures are counted in the statistics of this particular method's failures. What the abstinence-only people do is they count only the people who remain abstinent the whole time, not the people who start off on this abstinence path and then fail to use the method correctly. So in essence, they have this sample of people who, well, of course, none of them get pregnant. They're not having sex. But then you have all these other people who the abstinence message didn't quite work for them. They did not use the method correctly, but they aren't counted in the statistics against the method.
Ooh. So, you know, coincidentally, condoms have a 100% success rate among people who don't have sex.
Exactly. Yes. And you know, it should be pointed out that the effectiveness of condoms when used correctly and consistently is quite high, rivals the pill.
Right.
Which, of course, the abstinence-only people will not tell students. And
of course, and you know, the rate of people who wind up saying, "Oops, I forgot I was supposed to be abstinent," is a lot higher than the people who screw up condom use.
Yeah, because if you're not abstinent, you can always ask Jesus to forgive you.
True.
You know, because you're just human. Right? Okay. So anyway, why is this relevant? Well, because, you know, the State Board of Education fight that we just went through with the social studies curriculum, the next subject on the list for the State Board of Education to take on is the health curriculum, which includes birth control. And of course, Texas is one of the states that really hammers on that abstinence-only message. It's been a disaster for this state. Texas has, I think have slipped behind Mississippi as the second highest rate of teen pregnancy. Yeah. But I think we're still holding on to our status as the #1 state for repeat births to teenage mothers. So
we're #1.
Yeah. And of course, the population that this hurts the most, aside from obviously girls, it's primarily minorities who really have enough of an uphill battle already without being saddled with the responsibilities of parenthood at an early age. So we have quite a fight on our hands, and so it's important for people out there to know where the abstinence-only people get these numbers. They're not real, they're not correct. And actually, Guttmacher Institute has some real numbers. They actually do this research. So if you want the real deal, go to Guttmacher Institute. And that's pretty much what I have for the topic today, unless you want to...
that was short.
Yeah.
So...